What's the most important thing to an investor? If you have a deal that you're raising money for, or if you have a business, whether it's a real estate deal, a business, an opportunity, whatever it is, if you're raising money, private money, raising capital through a syndication, what is the number one thing that every investor is more interested in than anything else? A lot of people think it's the deal. They think it's the story of the deal. They think it's the return, the location, whatever it is. A lot of capital raisers misunderstand and just don't understand what the number one thing is most investors are looking for, especially the more sophisticated investors, high net worth individuals. What their biggest concern is, what their biggest deciding factor is. Some people think it's trust. Some people think it's if they like you, if they like the deal, if they like the returns, all that kind of stuff. And that is not it. The number one thing everybody's interested in, first and foremost, is preservation of capital. So the first thing they're thinking about, and this is where know, like, trust, the story of the deal, the return, everything starts with this one question: how can I lose my money and will I get my money back? So that's the number one thing that investors are thinking about more than anything else when they're evaluating the deal, when they're looking at you, evaluating you. They want to, number one, know they're going to get their money back. Number two, know that they're not going to lose any money. And then everything else is third. And then probably the second most important thing is trust. They need to be able to trust you that you're going to be responsible with their capital, with their investment, and make sure that they don't, number one, lose their money, and number two, that they get their money back, all of it. In the worst case scenario, you're going to make them whole. So that is the number one consideration most investors have when it comes to investing in a deal, especially if they don't know you or haven't had any experience with you. And if you lead with that and show them, hey, investing is a risk. We all know that investing is a risk. There is a chance you could lose your money. There's a chance that we could call for more capital and you could lose that as well. That hasn't happened in my experience, my partner's experience. We haven't seen that, but everybody knows investing is a risk. Just like when you buy stocks, that can vaporize overnight and become worthless. So you want to lead with that fact and tell them how you're protecting their capital, and reassure them. Obviously, everything's a risk. You can't make any guarantees, but you can reassure them that the deal, the team, the market, all of that then becomes the second most important thing in terms of how you're going to protect their capital, and show them how you are putting their interests first and foremost before yours. So think about those things when you're raising capital. That is the number one thing that most investors are going to ask for, look for, and be concerned about, is how are you going to protect my capital? Preservation of capital. That's the key.